A Battle of the Activists is officially on in Castlegar, British Columbia, as both a drag king storytimer who appears to have a criminal past and the founder of a parental rights group called Mums Against the Norm are both running for the same school trustee position.
I think that people should vote for me because I firmly believe that parental inclusion is essential to our children's education, our public education system.
Let's talk about it. Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and perhaps anything truly is possible. I mean, not too long ago, it would have been inconceivable for many to believe that the government would take your tax dollars to fund drag queen story times for toddlers and kids. Or in the case of Castlegar's Birkley Valks, who goes by the drag name of Good, I'm sure sexual pun intended, a drag king story time. Flash forward to 2024, and now promoting cross dressing to other people's kids in public community settings isn't just a politically correct virtue, it's a resume worthy asset to get you nominated to be a school trustee, at least for Castlegar, BC's School District 20. But there's always another side to the coin, isn't there? Castlegar's Emily Duggan has also been nominated and also accepted the challenge. Duggan has been a strong advocate for keeping kids' spaces age appropriate. Teaching toddlers how to count to 10 instead of how to count the 70 and still counting genders in public libraries. And she's also been a group that's opposed the sexual orientation gender identity program, which encourages educators to teach gender ideology to kids in public schools and also labels sexually explicit resources like the books you're seeing now as SOGI inclusive. Now, I had really hoped to bring you an interview with both candidates so there could be an open discussion on what both of them believe they would have to offer Castlegar's community as a trustee, but only one of the candidates accepted my invitation. I'm sure you can probably guess which one that is. Valks, who I believe identifies as a transgender man and uses they pronouns, not only ignored my invitation, they blocked me after. Perhaps it has something to do with the questions I also sent along in case they would prefer to give us a statement instead of join us for an interview. Questions like, what message do you have for community members that might find it both inappropriate and offensive that a person who dresses up in drag in a Jesus loves porn star shirts and also exposes a fake penis at the same time is running for a school trustee position? Or if you look at this comment here from a drag queen oh so excited to introduce Good for a performance, this person suggests that Good may also be performing sexual acts at such events. The post reads, important. Under legal counseling, we cannot confirm or deny the rumors in regards to any sort of mustache rides being offered for tips by Mr. Good. It is our suggestion to bring a few bills to err on the side of caution. How's that for Castlegar kiddos to stumble across online? Or maybe, just maybe it was one of my final questions about whether or not they care to elaborate upon what they were arrested and charged for, according to BC court records. All questions the citizens of Castlegar should know the answers to, don't you think? But as I said, only one is joining us today, and that is Emily Duggan from Mums Against the Norm. And here's what she had to say about why she thinks she has something to offer the Castlegar community. Let's just go ahead and start with why you decided to go ahead and try to be a trustee for this by-election.
So I ran for school board trustee in 2022 in School District 8, and I lost. Losing that election, it actually spurred me into starting Mums Against the Norm. And through Mums Against the Norm for the past year and a half, I have been advocating for families across British Columbia in regards to our public education system. Specifically in School District 20, the work that I have done with families is anywhere from assisting parents physically by joining them in meetings with administration employees to helping them understand policy and what they're entitled to as a parent of a student in the district. So when I was nominated, community members, they approached me and they nominated me for this by-election in School District 20. It was a no-brainer for me to accept the nomination. I would love to get in and be on a board and be able to advocate for families from the inside.
Now, we have been in a triangle before when it comes to reporting on certain matters like this. When with Birkley Valks before, it was when I covered a story in your area of the Nelson Public Library canceling on a drag king story time where Valks, aka Ryder Good, was supposed to be meeting with the children. Now, what is interesting about that, and what some people watching now might not know, is the news parroted the claims from Valks that Valks was receiving, or that their community was receiving, so many threats. But with some of your help, we were able to dig down and look, and none of that seemed to line up, whether it was with the police or the library itself. But now we're talking about this situation for a different reason. So, what was your thoughts when you learned that Valks was going to be your running mate this time around?
I was shocked, I must admit. Pleasantly surprised, I guess you could say. I was the one that got Birkley's or Ryder Goods drag event canceled at the Nelson Public Library, and so I felt like it was an interesting choice to nominate Birkley to run against me in the campaign. I
Mm.
announced my candidacy first on March 6th, and it was a few days after that that Birkley's nomination was announced. And so when I heard that, yeah, I felt excited. I'm really excited to campaign alongside Birkley and let the public do a vote and see who they want in the position. The position for school board trustee represents from elementary to secondary. So elementary, middle school, high school, pardon me. And I don't feel as though a drag performer is proper representation for that age group. A child could get online and look up Birkley Valks or Ryder Good and see what I deem as inappropriate content for children. So it is interesting that Birkley was nominated for this position, and that community members think that that is a good choice for a trustee. So, I mean, obviously, there are people in the community who support that, and they deserve to have a say just like everyone else. So that's why I'm excited for this campaign, because the community will have to vote, and we'll have to see where the majority lies.
Well, when we look at people across British Columbia who have come out into protest against things like SOGI in schools, we also see that there is a lot of support from teacher unions coming out to kind of combat that or counter protest. So, are you concerned in this race that you might see Volks getting a lot of support from some heavy hitters when it comes to matters of education? Does that concern you at all?
No, that doesn't concern me. I've had a lot of support since announcing my candidacy from the community members. Lots of parents are not on board with mixing gender ideology with public education. Lots of parents would like to see public education stick to the basics: reading, writing, arithmetic, science, those kind of things. Ideology, it's an important topic, but it really should be left to the college and university levels. And so I think having Birkley, who is a transgender man and a drag queen, in a position is, I think it's a turnoff for quite a few people of the community. We invited Birkley to an open debate, a public debate, and we booked the Castlegar Legion as the venue. We announced this event last night, and this morning I got a phone call from the Legion saying that I needed to come and pick up my money, that they would no longer be hosting the event. I guess they were bombarded this morning by phone calls expressing that this was not a good event and it wasn't going to be supported. I would call it harassing phone calls, and it made the Legion employees feel so uncomfortable that they decided to pull out. So that was disappointing. I was really disappointed, actually. However, after spending a little bit of time on the phone and talking to other community members who were like, an open debate is so important so that the public can engage and hear firsthand the candidates' opinions. And I couldn't agree more with that. So I put in the time and effort today to find a new location. And so the event is still going forward for next Tuesday, March 19th at 6 p.m. The new location will be the Castlegar Community and District Rec Center. So Birkley has not yet replied whether or not Birkley will be attending the event. We invited Birkley. We would love for Birkley to come and be there. I think that it's really important that we make a presence publicly and engage with the public. So time will tell. If Birkley doesn't show up, I will still be there. I'll still be happy to answer questions and engage with the public and talk about my platform.
Why do you think people should vote for Emily Duggan this time around?
I think that people should vote for me because I firmly believe that parental inclusion is essential to our children's education, our public education system. That is basically my main platform, parental inclusion. I believe that anything can be accomplished in our schools with proper parental inclusion, whether it be from volunteer work in the schools to on field trips to making sure that communication from the schools, from the employees to the families is open and honest. Right now, across the province, we are seeing school boards stand up, walk out, turn off microphones, and School District 20 is not any different. I was actually at a School District 20 trustee meeting last year where they got up and walked out on us. And I just want to make a promise to every single family in School District 20. I, Emily Duggan, I promise that if ever we are in a meeting, a trustee meeting, and the rest of the board gets up and walks out, I will not participate in that. I will stay. I will always have time to listen to families' questions, concerns, or statements that they have to make about what's going on with their kids' education. That's so important. I can't think of any bigger disrespect to do than to get up and walk out on somebody when they're speaking or trying to ask a question. Public education is just that. It's public. And what happens in public education should be public information. There's no way around that. And what we're seeing happening right now across the board is unacceptable.
At Rebel News, we don't back down from the other side of the story, which includes saying the quiet part out loud, even if the silent majority is too afraid to do so. If you appreciate that we've brought you many reports about radical gender ideology in schools, you can go to our special website called stopclassroomgrooming.com to find more of them and also to chip in a few bucks to help us cover the many expenses involved to bring you reports like this. That's stopclassroomgrooming.com.